Before I ever drove a car, I fell in love with one. It wasn't a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, but instead this, an R34 GT-R. This was and still is it. And today, I get to drive it. As car people, we don't just have one dream car, but there is one that for whatever reason sits at the top of your list, even if it doesn't make sense. And for me, that is the R34 GT-R. It might surprise you that I didn't actually come from a car-loving household. My exposure to cars and automotive culture was through video games, magazines, movies, grainy YouTube videos, and any other form of content that I could find when I was growing up.
Still a bustard.
But my first memories of the R34 GT-R, other than, of course, the Fast and Furious franchise, was when I was playing my favourite PlayStation game, Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec. I've got fond memories of driving Tokyo R246 with, of course, a Bayside Blue R34 GT-R. I didn't know what V-Spec or V-Spec 2 NER meant. Didn't even know what Nismo really meant at the time. Frankly, I didn't know anything. And I don't particularly know what sparked this crazy passion for these cars. All I know is that this car felt right. This honestly wasn't just a car for me. It was my introduction to Japanese car culture as I know it. And since then, I've driven many faster cars, many objectively better cars than the R34 GT-R for what this costs you in this day and age. But to me, that doesn't matter. Everything about this car is just so nostalgic for me. I think the fact that I've virtually been in this cockpit area for many, many years, I feel like it's someone that I already know. And driving this car isn't like driving something brand new, but instead, it's more so like meeting an old friend. You're so familiar with it, even if it's through video games, and it feels like home. It's just so nostalgic. It just feels like the perfect place to be, and it's a beautiful day right up here to be able to cruise in this car. And this isn't just any R34 GT-R. It's not because Nissan only made 522 GV1 Black V-Specs, but this car has a way deeper meaning.
Hi, my name's Peter. This is my R34 GT-R.
In 2019, before I paused 2PJZ for about 3 years, I met Peter, the owner, filming a series that I called SA's Greatest, where I went around interviewing people with some of the coolest cars in my hometown of Adelaide, Australia. He rolled up in this. This was probably the most excited that I'd ever been for a shoot, and I prepared everything. And little did I know that that interview would lead to a friendship that has lasted for years. Since the day that I sat Peter down and spoke to him about his R34, we've become close mates, and we talk almost every single day about GT-Rs, Nismo, and the crazy state of the market of our shared passion. We even flew to Sydney together for the 2019 GT-R Festival. And now, after its latest round of mods, even though it's not running completely right at this very moment, I finally get to drive it properly. So this is a very cool moment for me right now, driving my ultimate car on the roads that I grew up driving every single one of the other 27 cars that I've owned. Did I think that it would be this soon into the journey that I'd be driving an R34 GT-R up here? Absolutely not. And to me, this moment isn't just a test drive, it's a full circle. Now, for all my love for the R34 GT-R aside, obviously it's not the perfect car. You can certainly feel the car's age a little bit up here compared to some of the newer stuff that I've driven, but that's half the charm, is that it's not supposed to be super refined. It's just the steering isn't that sharp, the turbo lag is real, and of course it's far from refined. But this car is alive in a way that modern cars simply aren't. But I can certainly say that even though this car's just been tuned, it's still running very low boost. It's nothing crazy in terms of power. Just being behind the wheel of this up here is an unreal feeling. It is honestly so awesome, just cruising these roads that I know like the back of my hands. You feel the chassis flex through every single bump. You fight the drivetrain when you push. And then when the car finally gives in, it gives you everything, and it gives you a feeling that you just can't describe. The boost doesn't simply just build up, it whines, like a punch you don't see coming and still can't wait to feel. I think another amazing part about the experience of this car is not only being able to look out over the big wide bonnet to see the road, but it's looking in the rear view mirror and seeing that big spoiler behind you. It's such a hallmark of the R34 GT-R. GT-Rs aren't cars that are particularly easy to drive well, but that's exactly the point. Because when it all clicks, it's not just driving. You're truly stepping back in time to an era where cars were made solely for the purpose of putting a smile on your face. And even though we're not going too crazy today, it's pushing it through the corners, feeling the all-wheel drive system just take you through, and the gearbox is so nice, the GetTrack 6-speed. It's just the overall experience of this car, and you know, as I said, there's objectively many better cars that you can get for $250,000, which is what a black V-Spec would probably cost you in today's market. You might be wondering, if this car doesn't feel like $250,000, why do you even want to buy one? Isn't it just overpriced? Yes, it's overpriced, and yes, it is getting pretty old now, but if you're buying an R34 GT-R, you're not necessarily buying speed. In my opinion, you're buying the feeling. The kid spending all night in front of the PlayStation or deep in a YouTube binge. If you're anything like me and that was you, this car isn't just an investment, it's an inspiration. And that very inspiration is why I started 2PJZ. I'm not interested in creating generic reviews. I'm not really that interested in chasing clout or fame. What I do is purely for this exact reason. It's just a total reason for working hard, or for existing really for me, is to actually be able to afford one of these and to come up here and do this in my own car. So to have this experience today is something that I'm certainly not taking lightly, and just honestly, it's a real dream come true. Because nothing makes me feel more alive than chasing this dream. It's not just the cars, it's the community, the culture, the drive, the stories, and most importantly, the why. And that's just what it comes down to for me, because this car for me is not just a poster. Frankly, this car is the reason that I get out of bed. The reason that I work my 9 to 5 and then come home and work my 5 to 10 creating videos just like this. Knowing how expensive these cars are now, this is the reason why I do it. Dreams don't happen just by pure chance. They come from hard work, soul, and passion for what you do. And this car, this very car, the R34 GT-R, it gave me purpose. It's not just a metal box with 4 wheels, but for me, this car represents a major part of who I am and why I do what I do. This isn't just a car review, but instead it's a thank you letter from me to the car that started all of this. If you have a car that makes you feel anything like this car does for me, I'd love to know what it is, so let me know in the comments below. And if you love this video and want to see more films just like this in the future, make sure you subscribe to keep them rolling. Thank you so much for watching. Stay driven. My name's Pat, and we'll see you in the next one.